Welcome, lovely folks, on this beautiful, lovely Wednesday, 26th of August. We are on almost the last stream for this month. It's going to be quite interesting monthly close, that's for sure, one of the highest so far. But the big question is, are we changing something in the whole overview of the market? Well, not yet. Like I said last time, one big move doesn't rule them all. Okay, there's more to it, and more to it means confirmation. We need to see some more confirmation into the sustainability of that move, and if you're gonna hold it, yes or no. So by the look of it, and I'm still weirdly about the whole volatility index, just because with the whole big move there is nothing coming out from it and nothing coming in, and we are still in this whole small uptrending period right now on the low time frame. So for me, that's a little bit more like turning around scenario. If we're gonna aim for 19.4, regaining that, then there is much more opening up to us into the highs. We got almost back at this beautiful December low that we had. Well, every single time around that period where we came in was the biggest volatility event afterwards. So things are cooking. I'm not saying that they are changing yet, because they are not on the low time frame. We are still a little bit more upwards reversing. We are still hitting the scenario of 60.2-ish area. That's the resistance. But when we start to flip this, right, as easier as we going right now into this squeeze, that could potentially get breakout into the 90 or even higher into the 20, right? So things could end up a little bit more differently in a couple next days. But for me, I personally have a feeling, and I think that we might hold this and squeeze it out till the next week and monthly open. There are some reasons before that, because so far the only thing that we're doing right now is, or there's going to be a big trap as a soccer range, or we're gonna just go from it and we start the bull run. Well, the second one is less likely in my opinion. I cannot go by that that's gonna be, just because Trump said that we're gonna do the fucking bull run right now. There's more to it. So far right now we still are with the Dixie on the whole support area, right? That whole 98.7-ish area we did kind of regain. Yes, we wick lower, so this is technically lower structure right now, but in the whole uptrend we are at the mid of the range or close to, right? So if we start to turn around right now and we end up above 99 by regaining the previous failure over here, potentially opening up to get at the resistance back of $100. Okay, so as we said, this could be a potentially a pullback into the mid of the range. Even we can end up at 97-ish area as low as possible to do bigger damage to make the dollar cheaper before we're gonna do the whole momentum upwards, because we still on the high time frame. Are we changing something? No, we are still in the uptrend on the weekly. This is as well on the monthly, highest close since we got back from April 2025, right? We are still in the biggest uptrend. Yes, we still could come back into the 97 or at low of 97.2-ish. That's still potential, or even into this week, right? Before we're breaking the low of 95, but breaking that, coming back at this whole low over here, everything's off the table. Right, bull market starts, but that's not the case right now. It's just a pullback, and right now we could potentially see aim for the 99.5. Watch it. If we regain that, that's going to be opening up potentially higher up, right? We do still have this whole block of resistance, so we could potentially fuck around over here before we're gonna do this whole move into the upside. So yeah, that's one. But on another hand side, like, the biggest information that you can get from the market is, of course, the whole total market. So what do we do right now on the total market for the alts? Well, did we settle a new high? Well, yes, we did technically settle a new high, and that this is a higher high on the wick only. We didn't break anything above level of 772. With this whole big uptrend, with the biggest fair value gap below, right, we broke out, we squeezed the shit out of it. That's been like the biggest short ever since the whole October scenario. And the only thing what we managed to do is go by the wick into the high, but we close it poorly. Like, look at that. This is on the daily. Now, the fun start when you go to the weekly. Did we regain anything? No, we didn't. So right now, let me just change this into the weekly high so we can see that properly. Where is the close? The close is here. It's poorly close, right? We still can, of course, fuck around over here before we're gonna do this whole squeeze and another one. We don't need to go for that, but then still that takes time for development, right? Monthly one, where are we? We still have a week technically to go for it before monthly is gonna be closing. If the monthly start to close poorly as well over here, monthly high, right? Nothing has changed. Then means we have that whole fucking second rally and we're gonna do that big ass dump or the continuation into the lows for the last leg. And this is only odds, right? Let's go to total 2. Anything change? Did we close anything higher up? Even if it's been tested, yes, we run it into the high spot. Look at that. Daily one. Nope. Weekly one. Nope. Monthly one. Could potentially be the case. That's only on the monthly one, but that could be potentially the case. That's nothing set already because we still have 5 days to go. Yeah, with Bitcoin, where are we right now? We are literally at the resistance. We wick into it. We didn't, and this is a funny thing because on the with Bitcoin and every single market, the whole total, we didn't even wick above the 2.7 trillion. Weekly wise, same scenario. We didn't come back. We are in the swing failure from May 2026. Monthly one, that potentially could be, but that's the only case. So there is still much more to this whole run, and already we are way over above. We are already in reversal signs, trend changing, cash flow almost out, and the inflow, every single ticker whatsoever, it's already dialing down heavily into the neutral zone, right? So that's one. That's already something to consider as well. SPX pull back perfectly into the previous high structure. And yes, I still cannot draw straight lines. Could be potentially continuation. Yes, it can. All right, that's as well something to consider. Like the SPX can go even higher. I'm kind of have an aim that we're gonna get back at 8 or back. We're gonna hit the 8K on it and follow up with commodities. That had a massive run on gold and silver, 70%. That's massive on gold. Well, yeah, we did hold dump to the downside from all-time high 28%. We had a really nice accumulation over here and we hold it perfectly. And now what you're doing, you technically breaking out, not only for 1, 2, but 3 swing failures. Yeah, it's looking like we might change on the characters on most of the tickets, right? Silver, same thing, a little bit more slower, and like I said, silver is following up. It's not gonna be the before gold breaking out, but it's still following up. We are at swing failure, right? So potentially you had first regain coming back at those levels could bring you higher up. So there is much more to it, right? Oil, same thing, nothing changed on it, right? We are still in this whole technically uptrend and biggest squeeze as well on it. So yeah, there are things to consider about that as well. Nasdaq, perfect run into the resistance area. What do we need to do right now? Well, first of all, we need to fail at 27. Is that gonna happen? Well, potentially yes, we could, right? But right now, if we start to pick up the space and with all of the whole buys from the lows, that's been technically waiting from April on that, we could potentially aim to regain the high and do the biggest stuff on it. That's still in on the books, right? Because technically after the second failure, that was the first, that was second, we had the run into the high, and then you did the bigger stuff before we're gonna dip lower. So yeah, I still in the picture that we're gonna do exact the same fractal what we used to do last year. Just covering by on SPX, SpaceX, still failing from the underside retest. Let's see how deeper we can go on it. We have some cash flow reversal signs, so meaning there is some profit taking happening as well. And we had some, oh, that was the second already. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah, that's the second shareholdings unlock already. So let's see if that's gonna bring you lower. Well, and then we have the mid one. That's a small one, to be honest with you, adding to the previous ones, but let's see, that's gonna be something interesting. Well, the war stuff still popping up left and right, so that's to consider. And what I'm kind of looking into it lately is the whole total volume, because it's scary but at the same time funny how we can do with one pump or the one momentum move, biggest volume inflow, higher than the previous all-time high, and we are getting back at the previous bear market low before we settled out. If and only if we're gonna do one of those two things over here, then we still have that one more leg down before we're gonna do this again, all of this accumulation. So let's see. It's kind of scary that it's technically looking like we're gonna do the same thing, but yeah, monthly time frame, it's still a little bit lower than the previous weekly, previous all-time high. But yeah, that's the whole run-up what you had before the bull market. So we are getting close to it, that's for sure. So yeah, that's gonna be definitely interesting to watch. Overall, there is as well a bit more to capital flow to watch. We are still above the 60%, so nothing scary happening yet, no big profit taking, but we do see a reduced inflow coming in. So sorry, reduced inflow coming in. We do have a pullback, but the thing is, what technically we should watch for it is the whole inflow of USDT. USDT is already at the neutral line from minus 97%. That's massive. Now following up with Dixie, that's technically, and this is funny as well, I realized today, we bottom out on Dixie day after we had this massive pump. So that was funny because the inflow started to pick up on Dixie now, right now. So coming back at the neutral line will be funny to see if that's going to be the regain of previous swing failures. VIX is still aiming to go higher, and of course the neutral lines on SPX route and Nasdaq are quite low. So this is as well good to use the blocking effect, right? If this is those are the blocks that we care about, right? So 3 blocks, one of them need to do this for another 2 to do the opposite. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting to watch for the next couple days, and definitely end of the month, because why I want to look at the highest time frame right now is depending on the long and short. Well, we do see right now on 1 hour, and that's why I hate that we have 1 hour only, no more specific time frames. All this fuck around, this is just clutter of long and shorts together that's stacking on top of each other, and one of them is gonna win eventually. We had in the weekend this big outflow already, but then still we managed to come back together. Well, this is always happening in a range, because as you have the this kind of momentum, you have the technically, let's say this is the all-time high, you came back, right? So long's gonna step in here or short. So that's depending what we're gonna do, what you want to catch off guard and trap as much as possible, right? So over here we got quite a lot of shorts coming in, and we pulled them back already into the mid of the range. Now Still, right now, longs are taking over because we are coming down. And if we manage to come back at the lows and the longs start to pile in, we're going to do the pullback on it and they stack more on them, meaning we have your previous high, you have a failure, and then you do the swing failure from it. You might have to do something like this, and that's the mighty known head and shoulders scenario, or we can just fuck around over here for like a couple days or maybe even weeks as we're going to do something like that. Right, or some shenanigans and then just roll over the cliff. That's still possible. But then the matter is which way we're gonna trap the retail in, because if long stepping in right now on the top, that's gonna be a biggest pullback ever, and we're gonna do one more definitely, right? But that's on 1 hour, nothing significant there. That's why I said I hate that we have only 1 hour here, and I've been asking for multiple time frames. Now daily wise, we are doing exactly the same thing what we are doing on the 1 hour, meaning the daily time frames start already to do the shenanigans as well, right? And still longs are a little more higher than the shorts one, so they are a little bit more longing into this area. What's good, because that means we're gonna do the pullback and we're gonna do that one more, because we still didn't regain this shit. Now why I'm waiting for the highest time frame ever? Because the weekly didn't reach it yet. We are still far away from the neutral zone. Well, that's gonna be changing when we're gonna do the weekly close, and I said I think we're gonna stay here till the weekly close, maybe even the monthly open. So we're gonna have maybe one more shitty candle. After that we're gonna do a pullback on it, so for the swing failure, and then that's gonna be the whole flip over, right? But that means we're gonna come back into the neutral zone and then see if we're gonna do this reversal sign or we're gonna cross, right? One of those two things need to happen, and I think that's why we are here, and we're gonna wait here till this gonna happen. Same thing what happened over here, right? We had this whole big pullback, like technically the whole uptrend over here. We reach the neutral zone, we stay here for like 3 weeks before we nuke it. And funny thing, the shorts took over and then we flipped it quite massively. That was a really off guard putting scenario, right? Same thing over here as well, and that was all-time high, right? We've been like in uptrend, we came back, we flipped it, and then that massive long stepped in all the way into the lows. So yeah, it's a scenario that I'm looking in and I'm waiting for, and there is a reason for it as well, right? Like if you have this whole pullback, how do you take like the most advantage of it? Well, stay here for a while, fuck around, and make as much of long stepping in for it to wreck them. Same thing happened here, same thing happened here, and same thing happened here. So yeah, is this a sucker run? I mean, it's gonna be quite clear if we're gonna close the weekly and see how we're gonna take care of the loss. But yeah, most likely it looks like, right? Is this gonna be the bull market scenario? Well, so far you cannot say that because we didn't do shit. We didn't regain anything on any time frame yet. And I don't care what the alts are doing. That's a different scenario. We're talking right now on the Bitcoin, and this is the scenario of the Bitcoin. Rules are rules, right? And those are the rules that technically we should follow. And even this was an outlier for it, all-time high, because of the pressure. Because in my feeling, we should already roll over here, because this regain or the resistance we had over here was massive. And I've been mentioning that I didn't see like so many candles lying in the same area for ages, and then that was the big smash, and bye bye. So yeah, and this is the way, right? This is how you trap a lot of longs. That's why I said I'm not longing anything here. If there's gonna be something significant, I'm gonna see like a couple higher highs and we're gonna stick with the structure, I might, but I'm never gonna long you in here. So, and I don't care what somebody else is gonna say, because yeah, bull run or whatsoever, and this is the low, this is the bottom. No, it's not. This could be the bottom, right? This could be the bottom, what we did, but so far you have only one candle, and like I said, one candle don't rule them all. There is more to it, and by more to it, it means you need some more confirmation. Moving on the liquidations, that's why we could come back a little more lower and still sticking into the range, because it's 77k. That's gonna wipe out, let's say, almost 300 mil of liquidity. That's good because that's on a daily, so we could potentially get back at the low at 77-ish or even a little bit lower and see if we're gonna hold it or break it, right? Potentially still getting back at 80k. Notice we are still talking about 80k and not 82.2k, because 82.2k, it's a higher high from previous structure. That's a difference, right? So after that, we don't have much of liquidity. 80k, 81, well, let's say 600 mil, but that's like far away. The local liquidity is still at 79.9. Going back at 7 days, well, you can already clearly see where the money lying around, where is the biggest liquidity pocket right now. It's 77.5. It's around 180 mil, and the highest short liquidity is using 2.3 billion. Still a lot, but we need to reach 87k for that, right? The local stuff starts at or ends in 85 and 80k. So the 80k area still can be hit by taking out like almost half a bill of liquidity, and then it's still thin when all of the longs are stacking below us. That's a second thought that I have, that this is a sucker run. So yeah, that's one scenario, and now we're gonna have a look at the daily time frame, and still we are stuck at this 20x range, uptrending but losing pace because the outflow of it is significant, going lower and even getting back below neutral line. So the alts, well, they had their run and now they are losing pace on it, potentially some reversal signs. And like I said already on the harmony, you don't go against the reversal signs over here because they play to the T, right, on the daily. So there is, if we're gonna close the daily over here or right now, then that's your sign. Then the cash flows follows up. That's the highest cash flow since since the second dump that we had in June. So there are some significant stuff happening, and the stablecoins start to pick up their pace, meaning there is shitloads of profit staking, and we are flipping on the capital. So we are converting crypto to stablecoins and stablecoins to fiat or different assets outside the crypto world. So yeah, that's super interesting, and this is as well something that I like to see, because even on the weekly we took out 20x's most of the times. Last time we did it, that was the biggest reversal ever as well that we had. So yeah, that's not something that I go against it from the liquidity, and the inflow is as highest as, well, May 2024. So yeah, that's a quite long time ago we had that. So yeah, that's going to be definitely interesting to watch turning around, if that's going to be the case. And like I said, for sure they want us to wait for the weekly close and monthly close that I'm gonna watch quite closely to it. And over here on 4 hour, as you see, biggest the liquidity pocket that I mentioned last week, the resistance and the levels that we didn't even hit, daily high been hit to the T. That's perfect, actually, reversal sign. So that was a good one, and now we are coming back. Well, this is still uptrending, so this is still nothing major happening. We don't see any break of bigger stuff. Only 1 hour structure is broken, that's all. 4 hour can go back even to 67.9 or as low as May. Breaking May, that's gonna be a little bit more like iffy. But what I would like to see is coming back, holding this, and then starting to get back at the high and failing your swing failure. Because if you start to fail right now, this area, 80k, meaning the low is not gonna hold. And you're gonna do something like this, one more, and done. You're gonna do the biggest Bart Simpson ever. So yeah, still right? Pulling back, the profit taking is happening, and there are not much stepping in yet. So on 4 hour, this is it, right? Watch the daily previous daily open, like 76.9. That's been already tested, but still could hold as a support. And then of course the 75.9. That's a major one. So that's the hold. If you're gonna wick even below that, then you start to test the stuff, right? You can wick into it, close above it. You've been testing that, coming back at the high, and that's bringing you lower because every single thing been tested to the low, if that's happened. But like I said, maximum of all daily or local liquidity is to the 81k. So over here, this is full of liquidity. Here you start to thin out. So yeah, that's a little bit more on the whole biddy perspective. Not much technically changing daily wise as well. Daily it's been tested, so there is not much to hold us if we're gonna go back below the weekly close. So that's something interesting as well. That could bring us as well in a bigger failure positioning. And that's as well, if we're gonna close the weekly and daily right now, we have a big, wait, let me put this back. We do have already a big reversal candle, meaning we got the liquidity, we are coming back at the lows. We could do the test, and that's the whole scenario of bye-bye, right? Because we've been there. There's not much to grab anymore. And the only... we don't have even any kind of significant body lows to hold after 77.7. So that's interesting as well. Weekly, that's going to be a different time to look at it, but so far we are still pulling back, and 4 hour is technically the key for the structure and the holds. So yeah, and this is as well a scenario for you stupid, right? If you aim for, so potentially the support are to the PT, right? Hold on 75.9. This you stupid fib may as well, and that could be the hold before aiming to get at the resistance and then starting to break stuff. So yeah, believe me, I'm the last person that's gonna tell you that we are like right now in bull market whatsoever, because we are still at the resistance. This is the resistance, not aiming at 90k, 100k or whatsoever. That's a bullshit so far, till we're not gonna see the strength for that. So can we pull back at August at the lows? Yes, definitely. But pulling back, breaking all of that, getting the biggest retrace ever after we had it back at, what was it, June. Then we had this whole uptrend scenario. We are coming back over here. I mentioned that last week. It's almost 2 billion of liquidity laying. That's been grinding since June, end of June. Taking that liquidity, setting a new leg down, and that's going to be significant, like into lows of 50s. Or sub 50s. Yeah, that's gonna be the last leg before we're gonna have the whole run up, and that's the best scenario for the whole bull market even. But yeah, let's see how we're gonna be dealing with it. So far, great uptrend, but we didn't do shit. So yeah, good things I guess so far. What you guys talking about here? Jesus, you've been spamming. Let me go through the chat, predicting through the broken clock twice a day. Good. Well, what do you mean broken clock? Do you think I'm broken? No, I'm not. I have my kind of feelings and gut feelings about the things, and yeah, sometimes they got a nice hit. Oh, and it bounced to 8. You really want to break all of this? That's gonna be the first break of the major previous swing failure structure. That's gonna be changing stuff, breaking this. And I understand the way that you think about it, to make all of the longs come into it and then do that stuff, but then we might hold on this, because over here that was the range. That was not a swing failure that we came back from it. We didn't reach a previous swing failure from this scenario, or even from 150k. Here, this is the swing failure of high time frame into the lows. breaking out of it and closing anything above it, that's a game changing. That's a whole change of character what you have on a high time frame. Well, then, yeah, the bull market's on and the low is in. You're never gonna reach 57 again. Yeah, the total tree. Yep. If error one can be wrong 7 times, right? I mean, yeah, that's okay. That's the whole risk management. You can have like even 9 trades go into the shit and 1 big trade, and that's gonna overrule all of them. That's basically super 50. Yeah, it's minimizing risk. Yeah, by laddering into it. Yeah, that's the whole idea. We should have a trillion pen coin before 2024. Well, that's a wild assumption, but yeah, that could be. Yeah. Well, first of all, your camera is shit. Secondary, I think that's take. Is it line cut or what's that? It's not a buffet. It's how you call it? Entrecote. That's a little bit. Yeah, there is a lot of juice going on over there. You cut it like way too quick into it. But yeah, it's yeah, nice. Well, you're asking a chef, so you're gonna get wrecked. Let me find it. Okay. Well, Angie, the liquidity behind 60K could be left behind when we're gonna do this, right? And even start to do something like bigger stuff over here. Why? Because then the thing is, it's not always a market maker that runs the liquidity for the chart or for a perp or whatsoever. It's they try to sustain the liquidity. When they see the inflow is high enough to do it their own, then they leave out. And I'm going to show you that in a second why. But we could leave this behind because that could be a Max Payne as well scenario that happens before even. But the case is like it depends how we're gonna end up over there. So if we're gonna start to get back over here and start to do bigger structure like this, then that's gonna be out of question. But so far, like I don't think so. There is too much liquidity below to be left behind. Give us this scenario. Yeah, the thing is, you showed that fractal already, and well, yeah, I'm not sure about that. That's gonna be the most fucked up thing ever that happened because yes, you're gonna wreck quite a lot of people. I don't think that's gonna be like to 2027, like end of that. So it's gonna set up everything for like a year or two longer than expected. So nah. And then you want to go to 100K over here, bro? Like that scenario, fractal wise could be, but it's a stretch in my opinion. Like hardly believe that could be the case because regaining and setting that high and you're getting back at 100K, there is no way you're gonna get back at 144. There is too much of a pressure coming in. Yeah. To jump out. Oh, hey, Orca, I didn't realize you've been here. Thanks, mate. Watch the weather warnings. Oh, I think you know what I mean. Yeah. Possible. if I understand it, it's not that hard, Soraya. It's really not that hard. Believe me. You need to stick to the rules only. Yeah, sorry, I've been going through that whole list of your guys. What you've been reading. It will be a good one, but it's gonna be a hardcore one. And setting up everything like by a year or two, it's massive, man. Bounce 95, give me time. Trap more people into the wrong sides. Yeah, but that could go both ways. Getting this, right, and that's gonna be perfect. But then starting to break down something massively like that, bro. Like the thing is, like it's not Bitcoin only. Like you need to remember, like what's gonna happen with the alts. Like most of the alts, like already like fucking bare bottom on thin thread holding by almost before the zero hit. So yeah, that's gonna be some hardcore stuff for the whole market. Yes, Santa Claus. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's a shape of entrecôte. Yeah, strip line, it's a little bit more different. More flatty, yeah. It's a bit more tender, and there is a lot of fat to it as well. Yeah. Yeah, but more fat also in like a cap of a fat, not inside the meat, like around the meat. So that's different. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The timing can be different on it. All right, so I catch up on all of the chat. Jesus, I'm talking a lot. That's good. I like that. But yeah, still not much is not much is happening, right? We are still in the broken scenario till we're not gonna regain anything so far on the low time frame. Like we are technically a bit more up grinding. So yeah, watch it. May it still hold and a good buy as lovely Stu. So we say that to you. You will maybe pull it up. I don't know. But for me, right, the loss of 76 is a major one because that's going to be the first loss of the high that we settled. But it's not gonna go straight down. It's always gonna be coming back, running the high even, and then starting to break down if we're gonna test everything to the left of us. Because this is technically farming out the liquidity because there is not much above us till we're gonna reach fucking 82k or whatsoever. But then still, there is much more to it. And we didn't been here since May and January side. So there is a while. And that's always gonna happen. We're not gonna go back and forward like big candles left and forward. That's not a meme session. It's more we need to farm the liquidity. We need to farm the technically the retail as well into it, right? But overall, this is still uptrending. Not much changing. Let's see if there is some more info on ALGO Master. Yeah, see, so we're gonna be in the range. This is the range that we stick in. This is the mid of the range. So what are we doing right now? Right, the high, we come back. We are below the mid of the range. Where's the low? We're gonna hold on it and see if we're gonna go back into the mid of the range or the high. And we do already see overlapping scenario of order books. We are heavily into the bands already. So yeah, let's see how we're gonna be dealing with it. I think there should be some sign of liquidity below us. Yeah, there is some 100 axis as well. That's good. There is something upwards, but not much. And this is as well something that you could go by. If you squeeze it together, you're gonna see the big positioning of liquidity. That's a low liquidity, of course. Below us, nothing. Above us as well, not. And then the rest is forming all the way down, right? So yeah, the Bart Simpson can play out. We still could go even back at 59 by holding it, but breaking it's gonna be a little bit more different scenario. So yeah, just watch the low time frame for now. Stick with it. If you're gonna see some confirmation, then go buy it and or sell it whatsoever. But so far, like longing into it just because it's the most ridiculous and bullshit way of doing things. So if you didn't go long in here or whatsoever, then there is no need to do it right now before you're not gonna have any confirmation. So we do see quite a big flip. Last week, Wednesday was the biggest inflow ever happening. So right now we have a little more red week coming up. And like I said, the weekly is going to be the most important. We're going to still stick here till the end of the week for sure. For sure, they're going to catch as much as outflow. They might even do some sketchy things on Friday as well. Knowing them, they tend to do that. Is there any? No, there is no. Wait, maybe I should go like that. What do we have? 26. That's today. Quite decent and neutral numbers, so nothing's changing on that perspective. And then the 28, that's Friday. Yeah, there you have it. Non-formal payroll and Fetcher as well. Wash speaking, fuck me, like always on Friday. And I think that's gonna be the thing. Speaking on Friday, do the fucking manipulation movement of the market, close the market and let them be stuck. Welcome in the world where the market cannot be manipulated. I have a question. When you see those color rectangles with the order liquidity, wait, what? Okay, again. Color rectangles with order liquidity. AI charting tool? So you mean the support, yeah, support the resistance, but I'm using on the ALGO master, but those are the same. You mean those ones? Right? Do you? Yes, yeah, this is, yeah, okay. You also say support or resistance, but when yeah, okay, so I think you are getting confused between two things, because this is resistance and support. Where is the price? Right, so the price defines what's above and below you. This is resistance, this is support, because it's below you. Cannot be otherwise, right? It's technically like you are talking about liquidations. It's a little bit different. Those are the order books, also in percentage and momentum that is created by the price and by the momentum of the candle and the volume that's been calculated into that candle, right? It's not liquidity as you said, like you think what Karataka shows, like the people pulling orders in and out. That's a little bit different. Those are the support or resistance, meaning the support that came in by the flow of volume inflow, percentage, and the price action by that specific candle. Right? So that's one. So those are the calculate values from that perspective of order book, right? The order flow also in the books of Karataka and the place of the let me pull it back on that. So those stuff over here, this what you see, yellow stuff that Viking and most likely me as well been talking about it, right? Those are the real life orders that been placed in the books over here. That's what you see over here, the accumulation of that amount of specific orders that been pulled or placed. Yeah. So that's one, but the liquidations, this ones, right? This is calculate values from the momentum that you are in on the daily time frame, right? Most, because they are calculated on the daily time frame, because every single daily you open up, the books are filled on every single market, right? On the momentum that the daily starts, on that momentum you get both ways, books are filled with the orders. This is calculate values from the indicator, meaning from the price that you start the daily, right? 1.8%, that's the 100x, and then the 2x is above that. After that, you get calculate values from the percent that opens the price from the 20 and 10%. It's an easy calculation, because if you go on the exchange right now and you open a position of, for example, like let's say $100, and you do 100x, from the entry that you opened, there is always the same percent that you're going to be liquidated on it. This is technically the same thing. See ya, plumbers. So that's the difference between those two. This is calculate percent of leverage that's been accumulating, but that time period that we've been above or below that, right? And it's from the open of the candles from that particular time frame, because if you switch time frame, that's change, most likely adding or a little bit more less that particular time frame. So yeah, that's how those two things been calculated. And on the Malgo Master, on those order books, that's the calculations of your inside that candles, what's the whole volume percent, the price action, and the volume itself, what it created. And if there is significant volume more than the previous one, and the price, this is a good example actually as well, right? We went lower, we open the candle, we blast it through, we close it, and we stick above it. That's your order block. What's holding you, right? That order block makes significant more volume inflow than the previous one, so it's changing the direction. Right, this is like, you need to understand, the indicators are not connected to the exchanges. They don't pull in the way that you think the info from the exchanges, because there is certain way that you're gonna go by, because the indicators are built on Pine script, and there is so much that you can add to the trading view Pine script. There is like limitation to it on every single indicator. It's always average, calculated percentage, or based on volume inflow and price action, most likely. Those are the basic things, and then you can add like moving averages too, and all that bullshit stuff. That's all what it is technically. And how do you put it together? Well, yeah, you can be creative with it, and you can do some crazy stuff. For example, like mine money flow indicator, right? Because like I said, and I forgot about it to mention it, this is a good segue, like I said, for you as well. Like this, all of this block over here was full market maker. It stopped technically over here. All of this after that, it's just retail pushing everything higher, and they just like hit the stop on it over here, because now you see all of this inflow coming out, meaning profit taking, and now you are like technically resetting everything what you did from here. Right? And same thing, this is the most funny thing as well for it. Here, the bottom on the whole inflow, also in money flow, right? The most negative bottom was here, one leg before the bull market started it, right? So here, this is a good example. That was the scenario when the market maker came in, pushed the price higher, and then nuked it all the way to wreck all of the people that came in before we're gonna send it. Where are we? Are we there? Or are we a little bit more before that even? We are right now heavily into that, right? So let's say, what was the deepest peak? Like, let's say this, same scenario, right? Deepest point over here. Lowest inflow ever, pushed the price higher, right? In 83K, we nuked it through, and we are still in this whole massive inflow, meaning there's still people buying this shit up because we reached the lowest point on the market since August 2024, right? Can we do it again and much bigger scenario as in continuation? Well, yeah, we can. Is there a proof? Nothing significant yet, right? Yeah, 12 hours. Where did it end up? It's always the beginning of the move is the most important, and after that it's just the whole market that jumps in on it. Quote unquote retail. They push the price. Market makers, they don't need to do that. They just technically set up the whole trend before that. And guys, you need to remember, like, there is no one almost right now in the world sitting in front of the computer doing market making like manually. It's all algorithm right now. So don't think there's like a person sitting behind like wrecking people. It's an algorithm. It's coded in technically. And like, well, you cannot code in the how you call it, the Black Swan event and the whole manipulation event from like the orange clown, right? But it is coded in that the price cannot get above this as easily as it gets. Every single thing what's happening in between, whatever, it can. But then it's a stop over here, like resistance, right? You talking about resistance. They are making a stop for the price not to blast through it. Otherwise, everyone can manipulate the price whatsoever and blast it through wherever they want, right? That's why support or resistance. That's the most important. Everything in between, it's bullshit, technically. So yeah. Can we take a look at REZ chart? Oh, sure. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's what's gonna be decent. Sure, mate. What you want to know? But I'm not sure if that should be the correct one because, like, yeah. Are you using Bitstamp or which exchange are you using for that? With personal, I'm technically a little bit more on Bing X on that one. The chart what I'm using, if I'm using USDT, but even then I don't bother with the exchanges and just use the Oanda. That's gonna be the most accurate chart one. So the thing is, sure, that's I mean, definitely a good spot, but you need to remember you did regain your previous small, like mid time frame swing failures. You are still at the biggest one over here, so that's the highest one so far, right? That's one. You have your previous high, previous low that you came back from broken. That's one, and look at that, perfect. That's what I love with the swing failures, and it didn't regain because that's still the biggest resistance of it. That's on the daily. Now 4 hour, you did had a really nice run up, right? You regained that, and this is, look at this. This is what I'm aiming for, kind of a Bitcoin-ish run, because this is technically in the same area. What we are sitting over here, we had the previous high and higher high, and now we could aim for support, bounce back, nuke, and you go off the cliff. Well, what you did over here is exactly the same thing, right? You had your higher high, you did try to flip the resistance or the whole RSI flip over here, but you couldn't, and you did the perfect retest of that one, and you have continuation now. So yeah, this is still good. I'm not sure from where are you right now into it, but this is perfect fine. If you're not gonna regain 1.16, this is still good to go lower. Well, for to go lower, I will aim for next step 116.1 ish area to fill up this gap, and you might be even lucky to get back at previous swing failure lower, right? That's the whole continuation, but this is still in a big uptrend for Forex, and this is what I like to do. Where are you? There's a trick for it. This is what I do. You know what I'm gonna do? Keep in mind, you can use capital flow index. It's exactly the same one, but this one have a little bit more tickers to it, so that's why I'm gonna use mine. If you are short from this, right, that's fine. But then I would like to see the whole capital scenario. Where is the money right now floating in? Because you always have from one to another token, right? As you said, you using Euro USDT. So well, what's the correlation to those two? So far, Euro is minus 32% on 4 hour right now. That's different on the time frame, right? And then USDT is against that, meaning correlation wise, is USDT right now going higher than Euro. So your correlation is like that. You are in good position to go lower, meaning this position could go even to 116 or 115 perfectly. That's on a really nice correlation setup. Or you're gonna watch it on a daily time frame and see how it can go for a little bit more longer. Well, so far Euro is a little bit more higher than USDT, but that start to come back also, in meaning they start to get back at neutral line and see which one gonna do first, the cross or bounce from it, because this is the whole correlation setup, right? You need that, for example, to know is there any chance that we might go lower or higher, because if you buy something you want to buy it cheaper, and if you sell something you want to buy it expensive or like higher up in the price, right? This is what I'm doing because I'm traveling a lot as well through different countries with different kind of exchanges and fiat money. So I like to flip them around, and this is kind of what I'm doing. This is PLN is a Polish zloty. I like to buy it when it's cheap and sell it when it's expensive before I'm gonna go on holidays or I'm gonna go there, right? Same thing in Euro. When I go back in Holland, I would like to have much more Euro when I buy it cheaper. So this is the stuff that I'm doing, and you can do that as well on the capital flow. That's quite easy to do it same way, but over here I have a little bit more ticker to it. So this is how I flip my fiat currency around, right? And this is a good way for it as well to check your trading setup as well, if it can go lower or not. By Bitrefil, check your under for the chart as well. Yeah, exactly, because those have like more stable ones. Yeah, 167. Wait, what? 167 you said? Okay. Yeah, so you had a really nice swing failure from that one. So if you are right now in break even, breaking the low up here was already a good point to take profits on it. All right, so yeah, you are in the broken structure, right? So that's a good sign because you did set a new low, so you could potentially get back at the break even and have a continuation. still you're not gonna flip the 16.8. But like I said, on the daily time frame, I like compare it to a higher time frame, we are squeezing into the neutral line with USDT coming back at a high, meaning that's going to be a little bit more inflow going in. And as you can see, the green line, or maybe not, you can see, but that's the whole correlation, right? The green line, if it's above, the rest of the currencies are down. If the currencies are above, green line, if it goes above, we're gonna flip. We might see some potential of bigger pullbacks on that one, right? So yeah, really good stuff as well. It's hard to trade forex. I mean, it's not hard as in it's impossible, but it's a patient way, because you need to have bit bigger positions with against that as well, maybe leverage to it to be a little bit more sustainable. But it's a really fun way, and it is a bit more aka stable, because you have bigger ranges that you play into it, right? The momentum's breakouts are, well, not that massive as in crypto and volatile, because it's still currency, right? So there is a bit more to it, but it's still good. I like to play around with it, and like I said, I use this as my daily driver for my fiat currencies that I own or I flip around, right? It's just flipping game. Like, you don't need to like leverage trade that, but like sell and buy it and set up your alerts, for example, when you're gonna reach 50% below that. But I bought like some of them over here, and I've been selling out already when it started to reach close to 50, right? So this is my technically way of flipping my own currency left and right and making money from it. And I use that when I travel a lot. So yeah, this is as well a good way to hold on some currencies, different currencies, buying in. It's a cheat sheet I've been using for already like years. Oh yeah, that's, you see, there we have it. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh well, I might update this as well later on, but you can make your own cheat sheet, right? With maybe with the AI, whatsoever, the currency's correlation to dollar, which one is below a certain level, and you might scoop it up and buy it up and sell it higher. And this is what you technically do, because like currencies is one of the oldest flip flops what you can do with your money, because like I said, they are much more aka like quote unquote as well stable. Like there are outliers, like of course they are breaking down and then nuke it to the fucking zero of some of the countries, but like if you have certain currencies they are like stable enough, for example the most common ones, you can flip-flop them. It takes time, right? It's a year investment, for example, of a half year, right? From going from the lows over here to technically the high over here, it's a technical half year, and it's like doing that over and over. It's a small side project what you can make from it, but you keep in mind this is a little bit more like, yeah, time consuming. Well, like I said, this is my spreadsheet, and that's why I love following the money. And this is the money, right? Like, where is the USD going? Like, this is as well something that people overlook. USDT, right? We are at the neutral line right now. Every single thing is above us, like for potentially a pullback when the dollar starts to get higher, because they're gonna sell into the dollar, right? Dollar is cheap right now. Why do you think the dollar went? And this is something as well, 20th of August, day after we had the massive pump on through the whole market, dollar bottom up, and we get from minus 74, that's on the daily, into the minus 50. 20% of difference of inflow since 20th of August. That's massive inflow from the bottom, right? Same thing, USDT 5th of August, right? And it went even higher from beginning or let's say 16th of August into the neutral of 0% right now, or positive, instead getting back from 97 minus negative back at 77 and straight into the neutral line, straight, without even stopping. Where is the money? Where is the money coming in right now? Where is it coming out from? Well, but money rotation is really next level shit. Yeah, USDT, same thing, but USDT already, look at that. Like most of the people are already USDT, USDC. What does that mean if traders are flipping into the USDC? They're going from USDC to fiat. Done deal. The funny thing, and this is what I've been mentioning a couple weeks ago, and this is no joke. USD time frame, bear market stuff high, right? Broke literally over here. So let me zoom in. First time last year, or last cycle, we broke the whole bear market, right? So we technically went into the bear market cycle, right? That was over here. And then we did all of this. That was as well. And let me switch this off for it. That was as well the momentum where we came into the negative cash flow. Negative cash flow means profit taking. How do you take profit from USDT and USDC? You flip into the fiat, or you're switching into the different markets. You're going outside the crypto. This is the moment when you go outside the crypto. Well, after that, you had the bull market, bull market, bull market. Look what happened. Second high, first break, cash flow out. So I don't say we're gonna do the same thing, but this is the first time we're doing similar thing like we did last cycle low or bear market stuff. This is the beginning. USDC is it's almost there as well. We are doing technically similar stuff, but with maybe without a gap. Let's see. There's some inflow coming in, and yes, this is still uptrending, but losing that low, right? Well, I don't think we're gonna do this, but it's gonna be a bit more shallow. There is a bit more to it than one more pump, but there are some signs that we are not done yet, and this is one of them. USDT been breaking down. This is major. This is major shit. Like, I cannot kid you, like, this is big stuff. Because if the money it's not in the USDT, so where is it? Yeah, you can argue it's still a little bit more USDC, because right now USDC is a little bit more popular because of the hyperliquid stuff, and this is good. Maybe USDC not gonna be broken, it's gonna stick there because there is much more inflow of it. But still, the scenarios are there. Similarities, right? Can you get USDT and USDC and USDT? Would that be... No, it's not Forex. So no, it's the stable coins. So I mean, it could be value as in you can see the rotation of it, right? If you mean in this, but you can do that easily as well by just doing this. USDT, USDT, USC, right? Dixie. Oops. Dixie, right? And USDT green, blue, and Dixie white. Well, and then you set on here, and you can make it your own, right? As easy as it gets. So Dixie down, Stables are a little bit more stable, also in sideways, with more, not much inflow coming in except USDT. But yeah, then there you have it, right? So that's the euro chart. But let's say you're gonna go to Bitcoin, and this is the weekly or here. Let's start with the monthly one, right? What's happening over here? Literally on the previous high, what's happening over here, right? Which one is in the strength right now? Dollar. When the USDT and USDCs go down and dollar goes highs, what does that mean for the market? Not really bueno, right? And you go to the weekly. Where did we see that change coming in? Oh, funny enough, that was the all-time high cycle, right? That's a big change, and now we are coming together again. It's similar to the long and short ratio, right? What we see. So that's how you can do the things as well. And to add that to the Forex, like, yeah, I mean, not really necessary because it's not Forex, right? This is pure based on Forex stuff. I could technically do that just because of there is much more trading on exchanges with that kind of currency, but you don't need that. You don't need that for the correlation. You need their own correlation to it, right? Meaning, what's the biggest and the most value, quote unquote, because it is and because it's all bullshit, it's dollar. So which one goes against dollar? Right now it's dollar, it's 1. Everything below that, it's against correlated. Everything with it or above 1, it's with the dollar correlation. So if dollar goes up, most likely they will go up as well. And there you have it. Canadian dollar and CHG, if that's the, is it not that New Zealand, I guess? I don't remember. I need to check it. But yeah. Swiss, that might be. Oh yeah, that might be Swiss. Yeah, so they are a little bit more correlated to the dollar, right? And the euro, it's definitely not. So GPDU as well. Polish currency, same thing. Funny enough that Japan is a little bit neutral, but that should be a little bit more negative right now. But yeah, this is how you do those kind of things. And like I said, capital flow index, if you play your cards right and you use it correctly, as in if you think about it and add stuff to it and check it, you can do big things with it and you can make shitloads of money. Same thing over here. I have different stuff to it. Like, this is just one trading view. I have 3 different trading views with 3 different setups that goes left and right. Here as well, you can do total, Dixie, Bitcoin, and VIX correlated. So what's happening right here? Daily stuff, right? What do we have? Well, first off, we still are into the highest amount of inflow. That's still fine because it's still correct. The first outflow is going from the market. VIX is still stable, but we do see growth in the Dixie. Okay, last time it crossed it, what happened to it? That was the flip. But then the biggest flip comes when the market stops to flip. Also, in this goes down and both of them goes up. You can do pretty good stuff with it. I've been talking about it for ages, so hope people been listening. I'm not gonna be here forever. And I guess my video is not gonna be forever here as well, because we know what's happening with the other ones. I miss you so much. What's the ATS money flow indicator? ATS money flow indicator is my own indicator, and it's kind of like a upgraded version of capital flow index, because for capital flow index I missed a lot of stuff that I wanted to do and I make my own. But don't worry about it. With capital flow index, it will bring you at the same level as what I'm doing if you use it correctly. So yeah. See it as capital flow, as where follow the money. Where is the money? right? This is my own build of the market scenario. Like, I would like to see the correlation between the markets. How do you do that? Well, add the most important market scenarios together, and then you can see how they are correlated to each other, right? Or use the capital flow, the crypto overview, right? So you have the largest caps whatsoever, and this is as well, right? Stablecoins are here, large caps are here, shitcoins in the between, and altcoins is gonna be always in between. So what's happened if stablecoins gonna do this? Well, large cap's gonna do this. Easy as that, right? That's the whole correlations in between them. Or you're gonna use the crypto sub sectors. That's a good one as well. This is as well like a good one. I love that one. I used that one. I have a little more extended on my side, but I use that one for like picking good stuff from different markets, because you cannot follow every single token whatsoever. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go on weekly or monthly whatsoever, and you're gonna look for anything below 60% of that sector. Well, what's below on 60% in the time that we used to be in February? NFT was down, right? We had some exchanges tokens, BGB for example. We had some gaming quite below here. We had some metaverse, quite a lot, and even a little bit more of smart contracts, right? Privacy didn't come back even, but then you scoop up from those sectors one of the biggest, and like, don't go randomly into those sectors, because each sector have like hundreds of tokens, but you go into the sector and sort them by market cap, highest volume, highest use of exchanges. Look into the good looking tokens and most reliable into future performance, and you just scoop up something, and there you have it, right? NFTs went from 84% into, fun enough, neutral line, or even a little bit more below that, right? Gaming got back at a high but come back quite quickly. Then smart contracts went up, right? That kind of stuff, and startups, you can use it. You can go even commodities, same thing. Like that, you don't need to follow 100 charts at the same time, or tickers or watch lists. You can have it like in one overview. Right here, this is a good example as well. Like, and funny enough, scary, because every single time you come back at this level, right, most likely you're gonna have a little more of continuation before you're gonna turn around. Well, gas, right, we all know what's that. It's quite low. Can we go higher? Yes, we can. But then corn, time to take some profits. Gold and silver, or soy, same thing, right? There are a lot of potentials for it, and like I said, I've been quite heavy on it. Equities, that's a good one as well. Unfortunately, it's only not much. I would like to see a little bit more of them, but yeah. All right, Dow Jones, which one gonna come harder, lower, Dow Jones or GameStop? Well, GameStop did already like 80% to the downside. Netflix is up again into the neutral line. All right, so you can follow up on it, and you can change the time frames what you're looking at it. Like, even you can go for 1 hour if you want to scalp something around for a day or two. It takes time to load it. So see, there is a lot of flat line in it, because overnight, right, not much happening, but then still after that you see some price action coming in. So yeah, this is how you can take advantage of money flow, right, and be a little bit more in front of as close as possible by catching the lows or some potential lows of any tokens, right? I don't say it's gonna catch you the lower low, because most likely you're gonna have like divergence happening, or you're gonna do one more. But yeah, it's there to show you which direction potentially it can turn around. Is the potential to go lower? Well, yeah, it is, but there is much bigger chance to turn around, because it's cheap. You want things to be cheap. You want things to sell quite high, right? And by looking at the chart, you're not going to decide that to do it. And sometimes your ego is going to take it over. And here is it. You can fact check it, right? That's why I'm using it. And yeah, I've been using quite a lot of them, even extremely a lot. I spend much more time looking at this than at the chart. Than at the charts lately. So yeah, like I said, catch it, use it, get to know around it, play around. It's nothing wrong to add the indicator and just click away. So, right, you're not gonna break it, don't worry. And this is how it goes. Even here I have this is a good one as well. This is a really good one. Let me put a table on it. Middle right. I like that one. You see, you can make it your own, as in what's the correlation to the market. So here I have, for example, Dixie, Nasdaq, and then you can choose whatever stock you want, right? So for example, let's say not this one, but I want the stock of fuck it. Let's say Netflix. Okay, first of all, go to the chart of the Netflix. That's most recommended to use it, and then you just switch left and right without even looking at the chart, right? So daily wise, where are we? We are into the 60 level. Well, every single time we came there, how long did we stick around there? Not for long. What does that mean? Take profit. No matter where you are right now, if you bought it on the lows, take profit, right? That's your area. Then if they actually start to rise and start to flip on most of the charts, next they start come down together with the assets, you're gonna have a rotation happening, right? You have the whole big money rotation because the asset from here goes into this, right? Profit taking. Weekly wise, can we keep it a little bit longer? Well, yeah, potentially we can. We are a little bit more above the neutral line, so you can take profit and watch the rest couple days how we're gonna play out after the new year week, right? And then if you want some more confirmation, okay, what's happened? Where was the lowest low? And as like say, you're not gonna pick the low. There's always gonna be a diversion, right, happening because this is a diversion move. But still, this aims to go here. So if you bought something over here or add something here, there we have it. I'm not talking about leverage, right? Because it's hard to go leverage on it. Just basically by money flow, because it's always gonna be divergence happening. So yeah, this is how it works, and this is how it goes. And if you're gonna do it on higher time frame, well, then you are for a treat, right? Because every single time you're gonna buy the low of it, and then another low of it, right? So like I said, you're not gonna aim for the lowest bottom or whatsoever, but you're gonna be pretty close to it. Okay, now I need to put everything back so as it was. To change this to this. And add this one, and I think I add this one on. So yeah, I need the bigger monitors. Stuff start to get a little bit more crowded. Yeah. Is there anything else? Just came in. Can we start the stream? Yeah, you can start the stream on the YouTube in a second. I feel excited. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, it's been a while, and shit, 1.5 hours already. You dinner kit. It was done. To trade without a stop loss? No. No, please, Angie, you cannot say that. Trading without stop loss, it's no, let's not do that, okay? That shouldn't be the case. Or you're buying in spot, or you're trading with leverage stuff and you're using stop loss. You cannot say you're not gonna use stop loss. You're gonna be confident. I'm not confident to not use the stop loss, and I will never say that. That's the most ridiculous thing to ever, because it's not guaranteed. Well, like, how can you fuck, now I need to go back to the chart that I had. Let's say Tesla, let's say it's gonna be Netflix. Yeah, that was the Netflix one. So, oh my god. Even on 1x, like, this is 10% difference in the price, but it can be as well this. You can't do that. And I think, Angie, you should know better than that, right? You understand how liquidations works. Even if people said they're never gonna be liquidated, they will be, believe me. There is gonna be a one day, and if that hits, it hits hard. So no, you always use stop loss no matter what. I don't care. I don't care how, like, even the best traders in the world, best scalpers in the world, use stop loss or any kind of stop trailing. No, it's not because low more. Like I said, it can diverge for quite a long time. So yeah, even if it says it's a low, but the price can diverge from that low even deeper, you still use it, right? It's a confirmation that we are around the low, right? Or this is the low, or we're gonna do one more. It's same with divergence. You don't go in crazy on it. That's it. Like, there is no question for you. You shouldn't even question it if you need to use stop loss, yes or no. You don't. You always use. Done. You're always gonna be liquidated whatsoever if you think that you're never gonna be. And I think you should know that better, because there was an event last year or this year, I don't remember. Right? So yeah, you always use it no matter what, no matter how good you are thinking you are. So no, don't even question that. But this is as well, like, laddering spot into this, like, the best thing ever. Or buying up and flipping the forex, like I show you around. And if you want to trade it in on the leverage, then yeah, you can. You definitely can. You used it as confirmation for like, okay, are we at the low, right? For example, like, okay, let's say this hit the 60. Are we at the low? Okay, I know that we are close to the low already, so next bigger inflow or next regain of something, I can take a step on it, right? It's information. And this is as well for like all of the indicators. Like, the name of the indicators came from indication. It indicates you, right? Where are you right now? It doesn't tell you you should buy or sell or go in right now. It gives you information what could potentially play it out. Okay, let's make that clear. Anything changing on the biddy before I'm gonna bounce and order my food, because I'm starting to get a little bit more hungry. Yeah, so still holding on the weekly mid range of it. Potentially we can go back at 79.1-ish area, retesting the previous high. And if this is technically, we don't need to go back at the low. This is as well like scalp session range positioning, because this is your high, right? Like, this is your low whatsoever. You regain that, and you went higher, right? So you had one more outburst session. So this technically is your previous high, where this is your low, meaning you broke that low, coming back at the mid of the range, meaning the whole uptrend, it's not broken, but the range high starts to get, right? So even if you start to get back at the high, this is your 1 hour swing failure area right now, with potential of invalidation of 81.2 for a small step of scalp, right? And that can turn out into the lows over here before we're gonna have a continuation. But still, this is just low time frame scalp. That's technically 1 hour structure been broken, but nothing major on the continuation yet. And we are already in a second divergent period because we did lose that low. And this is as well, right? Divergent, hidden divergent over here, right? One more leg, and now you have regular divergent happening. So yeah, divergent is, or you're gonna do the move right now, or there is one more leg to it. That's always like that. Right? Right. I hope that's quite clear. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hereby I'm gonna thank you very much for your attention. I hope I didn't bore you to death in 1.5 hours. It was useful, and I will see you next Sunday on the last stream for August. And well, let's say I don't have plan yet for the next month, but let's see how that's gonna be. So far, thank you very much. Appreciate you all, and have a good one. Bye bye.